For joining us. Well, news just coming in. The Reserve Bank of India has imposed supervisory action against Kotak Mahindra Bank. The central bank has restricted Kotak Mahindra Bank from issuing new credit cards and onboarding new customers through its online and mobile banking channel. Abhishek joins us now with the details. Abhishek, take us through what the Reserve Bank is saying and why.
Well, Shireen, RBI has, given the fact that IT part of Kotak Mahindra Bank is not in line with what they require. So they had examined, the IT services of Kotak Mahindra Bank in 2022 and 2023. And that is where the loophole has been found by them. And with immediate effect, they have mentioned that Kotak Mahindra Bank should cease and desist from onboarding new customers on their credit cards, as well as their online and mobile banking. So by online, does it mean 811 or not? We need to specify on that. This is a big blow. About 13,800 to 13,900 crore was the credit card outstanding for Kotak Mahindra Bank as of Q3 FY24. And it is a fast growing, segment as well. And credit card is obviously a, better margin profile, better yielding profile over there. And currently, if you take a look, Kotak Mahindra Bank has not been opening much of the branches, but getting customers onboarded on their, IT platform as well, or the digital app. So it's a big blow that has come in from RBI for Kotak Mahindra Bank. Back to you.
Yes, it is a significant setback. Kotari, hang in there as we're reporting, and this is from the Reserve Bank's order that I'm reading out. In the past 2 years, the Reserve Bank has been in continuous high-level engagement with the bank on all these concerns with a view to strengthening its IT resilience, but the outcomes have been far from satisfactory. It is also observed that of late there have been rapid growth in the volume of the bank's digital transactions, including transactions pertaining to credit cards, which is building further load on the IT system. So this is part of the order that's coming in from the Reserve Bank of India. Prakash Diwan also with us. Prakash, the order coming in from the Reserve Bank of India is setback as far as Kotak Mahindra Bank is concerned, cannot onboard any fresh customers for its digital banking, as well as can't offload any more credit cards at this point in time because of the load it's creating on the IT system. What do you make of this, Prakash?
No, so definitely this is quite a setback. It's inhibiting in terms of, whatever growth projections the bank would have set for itself. But, fortunately, it's not an area which cannot be remedied because it's more to do with an investment in the IT infrastructure, which probably seems to be the way forward. So they'll have to, spend more on digitizing themselves rather than worry about other things. So I think it's still not as bad as, let's say, a KYC issue could have been, or some sort of a risk framework, weakness in the risk framework could have been. So from that perspective, that's the silver lining. But yes, it is definitely a setback.
It is a setback. Ritu also joining us. But Ritu, you've been going over the order. Any further details on the action taken and the severity of the action taken? Well, we'll get to Ritu in just a second. But Abhishek, I want to come back to you now. And this is the latest in a long list of banks that have come under RBI action for non-compliance as far as IT systems are concerned. And other large banks have also been under the scanner of the Reserve Bank of India. Run us through the other run-ins that we've seen as far as the large banks are concerned and how long it took them to remedy these matters.
Well, Shireen, to begin with, it started with HDFC Bank, wherein the restrictions was imposed with respect to onboarding new customers on their credit card platform. It took about roughly 15 months for them to solve this matter. Then we saw what happened with Bank of Baroda, the digital platform over there. Over there also, RBI did ask Bank of Baroda to stop onboarding customers. Obviously, we also saw with Paytm Payments Bank the restrictions being put over there as well. So it does take a lot of time. it's not easy to solve these. If RBI has, studied for 2 years, given them requests, reprimanded them with respect to, improving their digital infrastructure, and if the bank has not done, it would take some time. And remember that these are high-yielding portfolios as well, so it would impact the growth as well as profitability of the lending institution going ahead. Back to you.
Yeah, Abhishek, you were alluding to the kind of market share Kotak Mahindra Bank enjoys as far as the credit card business is concerned. Just run us through that, just trying to understand the quantum of the impact and the hit.
In the top 4 segments, top 4 market players in the credit card business, we know that for sure. And about 13,900 crore was the portfolio outstanding with respect to credit card, and that was growing robustly for them. It was for the industry as a whole. And if you take a look after the RBI's restriction few times around, over the last couple of months, credit card business have been coming down for other lenders as well. Back to you.
Ritu is with us as well. Ritu, you've been going over the details of the RBI order. Take us through what has eventually led the Reserve Bank to take this action, and what is the remedy and the way forward now?
Well, Shireen, the crux of the issue is deficiencies in the bank's IT infrastructure. And, this is a theme that we've been seeing across the spate of actions that the Reserve Bank of India has taken against select financial entities, is that they said they've engaged with the bank on high level for at least 2 years. And because of a lack of an adequate response from Kotak Mahindra Bank on the deficiencies in the IT infrastructure that were pointed out by the Reserve Bank of India, not being acted upon, that the Reserve Bank of India has chosen to take this step. Importantly, RBI has said these measures are going to be reviewed after an audit is conducted. And once that is done and RBI is satisfied that all of these deficiencies in the IT infrastructure that it has observed are rectified by Kotak Mahindra Bank, these restrictions are going to be lifted. Important to note, it's very concentrated on the deficiencies it has seen arising from the years 2022 and 2023 as far as the online, onboarding, the CBS system of the bank is concerned. No other concerns have been highlighted by the Reserve Bank of India. This is similar to what we saw in the case of HDFC Bank, where it took more than a year for the bank to really be able to comply and satisfy RBI as far as fixing the issues were concerned. We'll have to see how long it takes for Kotak Mahindra Bank, but no concerns on governance, no other issues. It is IT related only. And because of 2 years of engagement with the bank and no solution being found, that the Reserve Bank of India has now asked them to stop onboarding any new customers through their online and mobile banking channels or issuing any new credit cards.
Well, we do have more reactions coming in. Ashutosh Mishra of Ashika Stockbroking also with us. Ashutosh, many thanks for joining us. We were just going over the action taken by the Reserve Bank of India against Kotak Mahindra Bank. As Ritu was pointing out, no other concerns related to governance, but of course the issues are related to the IT systems, and the Reserve Bank says cannot onboard any fresh customers via the mobile banking app or online, as well as will have to halt giving out credit cards for now. Your take on the impact of this and what you believe could be the tenure by when we could expect remedial action?
So basically, if you look at this will take at least 1 year if I go through the many more incidents where the RBI has taken the similar actions against either the banks or even Visa, MasterCards in many of these cases, because these IT systems require further thorough audits from the RBI side, and when they get satisfied, then only they lift these restrictions. Where I see the negative impact to come in, basically onboarding of the customer through 811, which was one of the major drivers for the new customer acquisition growth for the Kotak Mahindra Bank. And there we need to understand from the management that what is their strategy in this in duration period, and what type of changes they are planning to do to take or address these issues.
Yes, that was the comparison that our colleagues were also making, the action that the Reserve Bank took against HDFC Bank and how long it took for HDFC Bank to make the corrections before it could start onboarding customers. Let's bring Dipali Pant, the former RBI ED of the Reserve Bank, here with us as well. Dipali, many thanks for joining us. Reserve Bank acting against Kotak Mahindra Bank for lapses as far as its digital and IT systems are concerned, at least for now, saying cannot onboard any fresh customers on the mobile as well as online banking system, as well as no credit card further customers can be onboarded. Dipali, what do you make of this, as well as the RBI saying, look, we've been in a dialogue for the past 2 years, but the action taken not satisfactory?
Well, I'll reformulate it to say that RBI acting in the interests of bank customers and RBI acting in the interests of customers at large. Under Section 35A, as you know, Shireen, the RBI conducts regular inspections. And when the RBI finds that certain very important processes, for instance, KYC processes are perhaps not being followed, I'm not sure if that is what was went wrong in the bank, Kotak Bank. But, well, it's very clear that the Kotak Bank systems were not geared to cater to the ongoing interests of the customers. And so in order to safeguard them, which is the duty of the RBI under Section 35A of the Banking Regulation Act, the RBI has moved to stop the onboarding of customers, as in take care of the flock which you have and no new chaps please till you tone up your systems. So what will they have to do? They will have to conduct first a thorough root cause analysis of exactly what the RBI has been telling them in its inspection reports for the last 2 years. And then it has to do a system audit, and then it has to produce a report, which would satisfy the RBI that, yes, they have addressed the issues with their systems, which are now good to go, and the RBI will then take a look at it, and if satisfied, and that's the catch, will permit them to onboard customers again. So clearly something is systemically wrong, and for that they need to look into the entire gamut of their IT processes, plug the gaps, plug the leakages, revert back to the regulator with the system audit report, and if it is found satisfactory, well, they are kosher. Simple as that. Hello?
Yes, and that is, yes, I can hear you, Dipali, and that is what the RBI order is also speaking of, that an external audit will have to be conducted to ensure that the steps taken are in fact in compliance with what the regulator is seeking. Dipali, I will be back with you in just a minute. Digant Haria, co-founder of Green Edge Wealth, also with us. Digant, many thanks for joining us. We're discussing the impact of the RBI action on Kotak Mahindra Bank, similar to what happened as far as HDFC was concerned, and it took them a fair degree of time to be able to remedy the issues that had been raised by the regulator. First up, the impact that you expect on Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Shireen, thanks. This is, the genesis of all this is, the pandemic, the corona period where, most of the banks were forced to move everything online. So people like Kotak Bank, a lot of banks were very late in building their whole online strategy. ICICI was always ready with that online strategy, but some of these banks were late and they built it all during COVID. And during COVID, RBI never did, those physical and very, very detailed audits because physically it was not possible. So I think, a lot of these deficiencies are coming out now that, we did everything in a hurry. And now, to solve a problem which was created because of a hurried approach, I think it takes time. It takes at least 6 to 12 months. And when RBI says, hey, no onboarding of new customers, that's quite a severe, there has to be serious violations without which RBI will not give you such stringent punishment. So I think, Kotak was, the retail was supposed to be the highest or the fastest growing piece of Kotak going forward. But now, that the confidence in that is shaken. And I think, the stock and the business both will take, a reasonable amount of time to bounce back. So, those are the first thoughts.
Yeah. They also have a new CEO at the helm. So this is going to be trial by fire for Mr. Vaswani, who is, of course, at the leadership position as far as Kotak Mahindra Bank is concerned. Dipali, you wanted to come in and make a point.
Yeah, my point was simply that a stitch in time saves nine. So the minute the RBI, in its first inspection, had pointed to irregularities and deficiencies, action should have been taken, especially as there was a precedent with a partner, a peer bank, HDFC. They should have woken up, smelt the coffee, redressed the issues which were confronting them. Now, having said that, I do feel that it's a good thing. You said it's a trial by fire for the new CEO, but it's a good thing because then the systems will be on even keel and they will be able to bounce back. Of course, the retail book will take a hit, but these are short-term things. If it's something which they look at the root cause analysis and address, they will emerge as a stronger bank, and I'm sure they'll do that, except that there will be an interregnum of pain. And that will last.
Absolutely.
Till, very easily, I should say, possibly even a year. Because first they get their systems in order. External system audit, because an internal audit is prone to bias. So if someone looks at it objectively, he should be able to advise. This is what I wanted to say.
Right, and that is what the RBI order says as well, that there will need to be an external audit. And as we've seen in the case of HDFC Bank, it took more than a year for the remedial action to be taken, as well as for that to be validated by the regulator. And Dipali Pant pointing out that perhaps the timelines could be similar here. But of course, we cannot preempt that. One will have to see. Dipali, Prakash Diwan, Ashutosh Mishra and Digant, many thanks for joining us with your quick take on the news.